want to be there and who want to make a difference.
And that's the saddest part. Like, I am by my teacher nature, I, aspire to what you want to be, work for it. Oh, but not that, because, no, come on, like, I completely understand.
Yeah, and sadly, I didn't make that decision until probably about 2 years ago. So, I mean, I kind of just fucked around for the better part of my 20s.
It happens, we've all been there.
Like I was saying, I don't mean to take away from the conversation, but I mean, that's what it's going to take is people, not just cops, but in the political level and higher, people who make laws, who rewrite laws. People like a president.
Well, this is part of the conversation, yeah.
Yeah.
I just, wish that ideally it would be like bad cops, like being afraid of other cops because they're going to be called out. Like, that's what should be happening, Cops being afraid, like, oh shit, I better stay in check because if not, I'm going to get outed.
It's like the system has been corrupted for so long that it's hard to rid that cancer, because it's not going to go away. Like everyone said right now, it's not going to go away overnight.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions. Like, since they're so protected, like the racism within cops is so protected, and they're going to start posing threats by any other means other than the old practices, dude. Like, they're going to just it's going to be real hard to get rid of that right now, especially. Mm-hmm.
I think. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I feel like, going back to what James was saying about cops and changing it from the inside, the demographic of individuals who are applying and getting the job, I feel like it's a power trip, and that's why we're having so much of these isolated incidences, all over, because the wrong type of person is wanting to do this job, and it's for a reason. Yeah,
I can tell you from experience that when I went to do the written exam when I took the test, the majority of people, I'd probably say 95% of the people were all white, and there's maybe probably out of the, I think, 50 people that were there, there was maybe 7 or 5, around 5 to 7 people who were either black or Mexican.
What area were you applying at? Like, what part of town were you at?
You don't specifically get to choose. You can kind of pick your location, but that's kind of just like a where would you prefer to work?
Area.
Yeah. But they had the test in Balboa, near Balboa Park.
Okay, for sure.
They should make laws that that should be inclusivity too. Like, you can only have a certain amount of white people, and have it the same amount of every nationality or whatever across the board.
There's no diversity in the police force, really.
It's funny how you should say that. They actually enforce that in picking college students. Why wouldn't they enforce that in picking,
or even
that's gonna,
even in the film industry? Where is the
everywhere?
Where's the PC culture when it comes to policing?
Why is because and it goes back to being a fucking bad cop, because there's so many generations that are like, fuck that, I'm not going to be a cop. That's why you don't get those. You rarely get African Americans who are pro cop or Latinos that are out there that are pro cop. I would say that only happens if someone in their family that's close to them was a cop before them, like a father or a grandfather,
and they could
or uncle.
Put them down as a reference or something.
Right.
But you could also
the lineage.
You could also argue that Hollywood romanticizes being a cop.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As well, especially like in family films. If you remember.
Yes.
I think that people lose sight that being a cop is a job like any other thing. Any other company. It's like going into a company. The company requires them to be inclusive and hire, be equally and not like discriminate, against people, and that should be all across. It's a job. Being a cop is a job like any other job.
Have you guys seen the movie or familiar with the movie A Clockwork Orange?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that basically is how I see society and cops right now. And it's been like that for generations, is you have these people who grew up being these horrible people and thugs, and for some odd reason, they are recruited to be the most vicious cops in the world, and are basically meathead thugs who are just given a badge and a gun, and they are the law now. And there's no difference of them being in a gang and being in the law enforcement now. And honestly, I'm not here to brag. Oh shit! I'm not here to brag about anything, but
they're coming.
Yeah, I'm not here to brag about. Yeah, I'm not here to brag about anything, but I've experienced that first fucking hand, dude. Where I grew up with somebody who was pretty bad and pretty violent person who became a cop, and that was the end of that, dude. I knew he was going to be pretty crazy out there. So, speaking from experience, that whole and I know that's a story across the board for not a lot, but it's not uncommon for somebody to want to, be a bully and grow up and be a cop and then kill someone.
Yeah.
That's we should talk about that example.
Okay, so basically there is these two DJs on a radio station for 95.1 out in New York, and they're called Kimberly and Beck. And we actually have a audio clip of it going viral of basically... well, let's just play the clip and then we'll talk about it after.
You can hear it. Fourth man also confirmed it. She called him the N-word. That's when they really went after her.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Were they acting N-wordish? There's your question.
They were acting thuggerly, I think. They're
Were they
thugs.
acting N-wordly?
Yeah. And by the way...
You can't say that. What are you doing?
No, were they acting that way?
No, you can't say that.
Hey, if that would have
also
been...
stop saying thugs. That's part of the problem.
No, it's not. They're thugs. They're thugs. If you look like a thug and if you act like a thug and you got 3-on-1 and beating up a white woman with a 2x4, by God, you're a thug.
And by the way, there are people in the black community would say they are acting N-wordly.
But they can say that. You can't say that.
It's double standard. I was going to say
It
if that
doesn't
happened...
matter.
And I don't appreciate the double standard.
Well, it doesn't. Who cares?
If she had been a black woman, the N-word wouldn't have been that big a deal. They'd have walked away.
Damn.
Powerful
Fucking
stuff,
crazy.
man.
I do like how PC the other two were, but he's just big. Angry.
You know what? That lady just couldn't help herself. Were they acting N-wordish?
She was egging on the situation.
She just couldn't fucking help herself.
It was as if we got a glimpse into how people talk when the doors are closed, so to speak.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think if it wasn't being recorded, it would have been not N-wordish. She would have said it, and it would have been a totally different story. And I've looked into the talk show and stuff, and
what is that talk show?
It's just the local New York radio talk show, 95.1, the morning show, I guess they have, and they're two elderly white people, Caucasians, and they do have a diverse set of guests on the show, which I really was surprised coming from them, because when I did the research, they've actually had African American guests on the show talking about. I think one guy was a boxer, MMA fighter. They had a DJ on their show. It was a female African American DJ, along with other people that are on the show. So to me, it was kind of just like a retaliation. She probably acted out of frustration. If you guys follow me on my Instagram, I actually posted the video of what they're actually talking about. And to me, it's sad on both sides, because it does show the lady trying to defend her business. First of all, we all know that
probably 100% of those businesses are insured. And during this COVID time, we all know that these people were all barely going back to work. We were all barely starting to go being in the swing of things again. So
she probably got that small loan, that small business loan.
And so I get where she was trying to defend her business, but the fact that there is people out there that are swinging 2x4s at over your head to hit your business, and you're an elderly older lady, there has to be some sort of click in your head where you say, hey, I'm in fucking danger, I need to leave.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it, dude. And the video, there's no audio because it's just a surveillance video, but you do see the guys swinging over her, and they were walking away, and one of them came back because it was confirmed that she did say the N-word to them, and that's what triggered them. I'm pretty sure those guys weren't gonna do anything to her immediately, but they were gonna fuck up her property. I can't speak for them, but they were walking away, and it was confirmed that she was saying racial slurs, so I guess it did trigger. And also, there was white people there around her that could have pulled her from that situation, that were looting as well. All I'm saying is it could have been avoided, and it could have been de-escalated if she would have just swallowed her pride and walked away with her life. Now she's fucked up.
She's fucked up, and then it continues on beyond that onto this radio station where these white people are talking about it, and they're focusing on the wrong thing when they should have been focusing, instead of focusing on, you know, they're just black thugs, they should be focusing on, well, why is this happening? Why are they doing this? Like reflecting and asking questions, and they're not.
I hear a lot from, and it's coming from like the older white people, like 40 and up, typically. Yeah. I hear this a lot, especially where I'm at in the El Cajon/Santee area. That I've heard people say, well, they know this isn't gonna prove anything, right? They're not going to get anything accomplished with all this destruction.
Yeah, we've done this before. Why are they going to do it now?
Which is, I mean, they're not thinking about why it's happening.
Yeah.
This is now, and everyone involved with the now.
Yeah, exactly.
That just goes to show you that they're not open to learning and accepting and asking questions and opening their mind and
having a conversation maybe about it.
Yeah.
A lot of normal things we could do, but we just have to ruin it all, dude. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that is rooted. It's rooted from, like,
when you're
how were you taught when you were growing up? Were you taught to ask questions and explore and, you know, find out and educate yourself? Yeah. Or were you just told, hey, this is what you do? Stomp, oppress, you know?
See, that's not like the using your family line or that you were taught racism like from an early age isn't an excuse. You know, because anything that you've learned, you're not born a racist, right?
You kind of learn it, dude. Like, so you just step into it.
Yeah, you're taught all of those values, and you can unlearn those values too. So it's up to us, you know, as a human collective, to stop it, to cut it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. But unfortunately, not everybody's on the same wavelength, and
not everybody has that capability, or even willing to do that,
or try. You know, just the not even saying everyone's perfect. People can slip up. But it's the acknowledging that, not saying there's nothing wrong. You know what I mean? All of these people saying that racial profiling isn't a real thing. Like, that's bullshit. It's crazy that we're even having that argument still, you know?
Yeah. That happens all the time.
I wanted to ask you guys if you've seen the video going viral of